Okay, we're over on the bench here. Now the TE20, it had a distributor of a car, and even though it was a Lucas, the main distributor cap was smaller and nothing that I had readily available fitted it to give it a good service. So back ages ago I spoke to Gordon Ellis and I bought a heap of distributors and bits and pieces off him just to yeah, keep my show on the road really, see how we went. So look, we'll pop it apart and you can hear that's quite rough. So what we'll do, we'll just run through it and see what we can do. So look, we'll start off. Sometimes the little lock tab holds this in place, but we'll just pop this, loosen this off, and we can leave the drive housing where it is. It should just come straight out the top there. That's your drive housing where you adjust you can loosen this and actually turn your distributor within there, but you can, once you've got it set to 0, set this point and you can adjust it 1 or 2 degrees, you know, advance or retard depending on what you'd like to do. So, okay, we'll come around a bit. I'll bring you around that way a little bit. That way it's a more natural place for me to be. Now, with these distributors, what it's very easy to do is lean on these fellas a bit too hard and you break the corners out of the distributor here. So what I like to do before we actually hop into that is I'll take those arms off, and that way there's not a leverage point there that can damage anything for us. Because even though the distributor works once they're off, they're just a bugger of a thing sometimes. So that can come out, go over there. And this way, yeah, if we roll this over or drop it or something like that, we have very little chance of knocking the corners out of here. And like I say, they still work. It's only like pushed over there anyway, some of it. They still work, but it's just every time you get the clip off, the bloody arm wants to drop down. So, where do we go from here? Well, where I like to go from here is when you look at the end of the distributor there, you can see that this line here is offset to this side of the shaft. So you may recall on Facebook and that people say, oh, instead of the distributor sitting there and it pointing to number, say at 11 o'clock, when you look at the top, look at 11 o'clock pointing on number 1, it's down here at 5 o'clock. And what's happened probably is this has been put on back the front and it's gone, yeah, it's 180 out, which you can do. So look, what I do and what I like to do is I just put a little centre pump mark on here. So you can just see a little pop mark, and on the bottom here I'll put another bit of pop mark. And that way later on I know that I can get that back in the exact right place. So you can see the little centre pump mark there. So this pin, it looks like it's had a centre punch mark there trying to get it out, but we'll undo the top end here first. So we'll just start by popping the condenser off out of the way. We might get the right size screwdriver even. No expense spared. There we go. We have a Sparex tune-up kit to put in this distributor, so we have everything brand new to go. But yeah, you can feel that bearing rattling in or grumbling in here, so we're going to go right through it and put a new bearing in and everything. Should be flash. I'll put the screw over there. And this nut here that holds that on, we'll just undo the little nut, the one under it, and that should release any tension. Here we go, here's the big kahuna. Often people play with distributors and this coming across here isn't in good nick and it earths out through the housing, and so they complain about no spark or something like that. And sometimes it can be as simple as that. It has to be insulated all the way through, so the centre point here doesn't earth out anywhere. There's a bit of protection here as well. So we'll pop the points out. I don't know what this one's off, but it just doesn't matter to us. My tummy rumbling, buddy. Probably coming through the bloody microphone. I should have a feed now, eh? No shortage about that anyway. And this distributor, this was actually on the wrong side. Like this here was on the wrong side of that there, so this would not have worked. Dirty. I wonder if they knew points or not, and they couldn't get it going. Oh no, they've done a bit of work. They must have been at the right place sometime. There's a fibre washer sits between the moving arm and the fixed arm. Then the point should come away. I think those points have been run, but they're in good nick. Okay, we'll undo this screw right out of the way just for the moment, because we'll make sure that's all insulated nicely, so if we go for a drive in the rain, we'll get home again. Someone's been in here though, I can see. There's an O-ring and there's all sorts of bits and pieces. Anyway, we'll sort that out. That's here, yeah, that's in very good order. This here's in very good order. So, okay, we'll undo. Now this is a screw that holds the plate in, that holds the points and the condenser and all that sort of thing. And one of the screw that holds the condenser in also holds this in, so. That screwdriver I'm using is one that I've butchered sometime. It's half rounded on one edge. That feels better. And we'll pull the plate out, and that looks good. Like, very rarely anything goes wrong. I actually have one over the back there that this pin must have come loose and it's been welded and got the balls up of it. Anyway, that's all right. Now you can see inside here, if I hold the bottom, you can see those weights pop out. They're centrifugal advance weights. That looks okay. Now in the centre here, there's a flat blade screwdriver hole. And what I do at times for here is just drop a spanner onto the spanner onto the rotor and undo that. That should not be that tight. It's got to be firm. Just give this a little jar. So see. see if that will actually be enough to take the tension of it off. Yep, we're away. Watch us go. So we can pop this bloke off here. Whoop, and the whole bloody lot falls out. And that's okay, we're happy with that. I usually try and leave this hooked up where it is, because you see you have a heavy spring here. You have a heavy spring and a light spring. I just leave them hooked up, there's no real need. Sometimes I do pull it apart and do the, oh well, I will probably just slide it out quickly and lube up the pivots, but that's okay. Okay, so now all we have here is the plate in the bottom here and the bearing. And we're not going to tidy this housing up because, you know, we're keeping the old rustic look, for want of a better word, old barn find look for the old tractor. So we'll just sit this up. I'm just trying to find, there's a centre punch mark here, which may be the, oh, there's one on both sides. So it's going to be hard to tell which side that pin wants to come out. So I'll try and find a tapered punch to start with, and then we can follow up with a pin punch. Okay, I have a tapered punch here. I'm just going to give it a bit of a, yeah, I'm not going to win with that, I don't think. I'll try and bring him down through. So there's two pins in there. So put a little pin inside the big pin. So let's get one at a time. I'm sure I had some pliers there, right there where I can't see them in front of me. That one out. Okay, now I reckon this way. I've no idea if that's the right way or not, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I've had to drill these out in the past. Huh, look at that. That's an odd setup. I wonder did someone, oh, I can't recall seeing that. It looks like there's another, like there's a centre pop mark here. And one here. There's only a tiny hole here. I'm not sure, I can't recall what the other ones I've done are like now. Anyway. So there's our housing. Then that's our bearing. You can feel that's notchy. And there's a bush down in the bottom of the housing about here. A little wear there, but look, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this bearing off with my handy dandy puller. And it keeps wanting to go crooked. I'll get a knockometer. Yeah, I might just pump him down through here. Back in a minute. And there we go. There's a little washer under there, just to space it up to the correct height. It locates on a little spigot there, right on there. Okay, I'll go and wash everything up. That might be the end of this video. When we put it all back together, we'll probably start another one just to keep them short.